channel. Welcome to my channel if you are new. It's been a minute since I have recorded a video. I have been kind of in like a little funky phase or whatever. Not saying that my creative juices haven't been flowing, because I have millions of video ideas, but I've been recording videos and they haven't been feeling right. So as opposed to putting something out that I'm not happy with, I've just been putting things on hold until I, get in my groove and put together some content that I'm really proud of. So yeah, if you're a returning subscriber and you've been like, what's going on with this? That's what's been going on with me. I just ain't been happy with what I've been recorded and stuff, just honestly. But yeah, so I'm here to you today with yet another movie review. I love movie reviews, so if that's something that you like seeing from me, make sure that you tune into my channel, because every now and then I'm going to throw in a little movie review for you all. And I like to kind of chat with you guys and see what y'all opinions are on different movies and stuff that I watched. So I have watched the highly anticipated movie Coming to America 2, which premiered on Amazon Prime, and I think they did do some showtimes in actual movie theaters, but I saw it on Amazon Prime. Now, before I watched the movie, I had no expectations. I know I had heard people through the years saying, oh, I wish they would make a sequel to Coming to America, but me, I didn't really have an opinion on it. I kind of really didn't want, honestly, I kind of didn't want a sequel to be made, because I figured maybe it wouldn't match up to, the original. But I had seen the behind the scenes of making the movie and different pictures and stuff of the cast, and I did read that they were going to actually going to add some of the original cast members. They had agreed to do a sequel, so I said, okay, this should be interesting. But again, I didn't really have any high expectations for it. I was just like, I'll watch it and I'll give it a shot. I know that Eddie Murphy, he has done sequels in the past to some of his movies that I really enjoyed, like Nutty Professor, Dr. Dolittle, and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, let's give Coming to America 2 a shot. From the very beginning of the movie, I think it was probably like the first 5 or 10 minutes of the movie, I was like, what the heck is this? Like, I was embarrassed. You ever see something and you get like secondhand embarrassment? Like, it's not a reflection on you. Like, you ain't had nothing to do with this. You ain't put this together. But you so embarrassed because it's that bad. And I'm sorry, you guys. I should just start this off with a disclaimer. This movie is going to be an unpopular opinion, because I've been looking at other folks' opinions on the movie, and they ain't meshed with mine, and I was kind of hesitant about recording this. But I said, you know what? Everyone is entitled to opinion. Everybody is not going to feel the same way about certain things. So I just wanted to put my opinion out there. My opinion is not gospel. This is just how I felt. So, just bear with me for that. From the very beginning of the movie, I was like, this movie is corny. Like, oh my god, it's so cringy. It's corny. Like, you ever see something that's so corny, you're like, And I wanted to like turn it off, but I was like, nah, let me just give it a shot and like watch the movie the whole way through. And the whole way through, I was watching the movie like this. I had my face like this. The whole entire movie. So Coming to America 2 is actually about Eddie Murphy's character, Prince Akeem. He finds out that he has an illegitimate son, and he's getting to know his son. He went from the kingdom of Zamunda to New York, and he had this illegitimate son, and he's bringing him back to Zamunda and trying to get him acquainted with, life in Zamunda. And I'm gonna just go ahead and throw it out there with the thing that most bothered me about the movie, because I was confused as to how this was going to intertwine with the original. I said, how is Prince Hakeem supposed to have an illegitimate son when in the original movie, the only person that he was intimate with, from my knowledge, is Lisa, which ended up being his wife. So where in the spin in between all of this did he have time to sow his royal oats, which is what he originally supposed to have came to, where his father intended him to go to, America to do? When did he do that? When did he create this son? In the course of Coming to America 2, they explain that this son was conceived, and I'm trying to say it in the proper term because I know YouTube is very, very funny about the way that you say things. But this son was conceived. It wasn't, how do you say it, consensual. It wasn't consensual, and it was, you know, some substances involved, and Prince Akeem didn't realize what was going on, didn't remember what happened. And I'm like, this joke shouldn't be flying in 2021. I'm sorry, you know what I'm saying? I know people like to say, oh, when that sort of thing happens to a man, it's not viewed with the same gravity as it is when it happens to a woman. No, I'm sorry. Everybody don't feel that way. I know I'm one person, I don't feel that way. You know what I'm saying? When people have an intimate moment together, you know, bumping uglies, as they say, everybody need to know what's going on and be consenting adults. You know what I'm saying? And for them to make a joke and be, you know, twisted as this happened and Prince Akeem didn't know what was going on, that was not funny. I was just like, I know I'm gonna have a hard time, you know, watching this movie and laughing at it. And then they had the nerve to use a slur repeatedly while they were talking about his illegitimate child. Instead of saying, yeah, my son, they had to throw in the B word in front of it. His B son. And I ain't gonna say that word. Maybe you can say it on YouTube, but it's offensive to me. And I ain't even gonna explain why it's offensive to me, but it's offensive to me, so I'm not gonna say that word. And they kept saying it. And even his son, at one point in time, you could tell he was tired of him saying it, but he ain't like go off about him saying it. You know what I'm saying? It was just something that was supposed to be, ah, ha, ha, ha. And I'm like, Eddie Murphy, movie aside, you got illegitimate children in real life. You know what I'm saying? And do they think that it's funny? But I ain't even gonna go there, you know what I'm saying? Because that's a whole different topic. You know what I'm saying? You got some children over there too that you had out of wedlock. Would they appreciate people calling them that? They think that's funny? But anyway. And then the third thing that got me with the whole movie and stuff, and maybe it's because I'm older, and if I was a younger person, I probably wouldn't have picked up on it, is just the colorism. And Eddie Murphy has a history of this, you know what I'm saying? People think that Eddie Murphy is a colorist, you know, and in the original movie, a lot of people had issues with the fact that Lisa, the woman that he ended up marrying, was a light-skinned woman. And in the movie, Vanessa Bell Calloway, her character was one of the women that he was supposed to, she was a woman that his parents wanted him to be with, within like an arranged marriage. And they had a scene in the movie where he asked her to hop on one leg and bark like a dog.
Anything I say you do?
Yes, Your Highness.
Bark like a dog.
Arf, 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 arf.
A big dog.
Woof, 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 woof.
Hop on one leg.
Woof, 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 woof.
And she's doing that, you know. Vanessa Bell Calloway, she's a darker skinned woman. She's beautiful though. She's gorgeous. Even to this day, years later, she's still gorgeous. You know what I'm saying? And people did not like the fact that he chose a lighter skinned woman over the darker skinned woman, and made the darker skinned woman seem like an airhead, like she just gonna do everything that he's saying, like she barking like a dog and stuff like that. Like that wasn't funny. And even with Lisa's character, she had a sister. Her sister was brown skinned, and they had her like hypersexualized and like the fun girl. She wanted to, you know, mess with Prince Akeem, but when his servant, I think Simi is his servant, but Simi may be his half brother. Anyway, Simi lies to Lisa's sister and has her thinking that he's the prince, he's the one with the money. So she's like, oh, well, I'm about to get with him. You know what I'm saying? So they made it seem like Lisa's sister was a gold digger and Lisa was educated and she was helping her father run his business and stuff. So they made the fair skin, the lighter skin sister, they put her on the pedestal, and the other sister, you know, kind of, she wasn't on the same level. You know what I'm saying? And they kind of perpetuated that in this movie. I'm just going to be honest, and I'm going to tell you why. Because, you know, at the end of the movie, a brown-skinned woman does end up having her love story as a part of the movie. But there is still a piece of colorism left in the movie. And I'm going to tell you why. Because Leslie Jones's character is the one that supposedly had this illegitimate child with Prince Hakeem, and she's a darker skinned woman. And to me, they made it seem like the only reason why they was intimate was because she persuaded him with substances, and he was unconsciously intimate with her in the creation of their child. And her character wasn't all that attractive. We're just gonna keep it funky. And I'm just like, dude, you've been catching slack about this for years. You know what I'm saying? Why you gonna put that in the movie? And I understand that Eddie Murphy, he has a history of like raunchy type of comedy. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like there's a way in which to do things, and certain things can just be left to the side. It's unnecessary, you know what I'm saying? And just compound it with the slur that, you know, they was calling an illegitimate child. It was too much for me. I'm just gonna be quite honest. Like I said before, I am an Eddie Murphy fan. Don't make me pull my Eddie Murphy DVDs out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have a lot of his movies and stuff like that, but this is not one that I would recommend anybody see, or anything that I plan on adding to my collection. And I saw some folks saying that this is a family film. How? And to explain the corniness in the film, because yeah, they were trying to joke and stuff throughout the film, but nothing was funny. They said, oh, it was like a Disney watered down type comedy. How? I don't get it. You know, Wesley Snipes is also in the film, and he plays like a general. His character was so corny, and it was like, why should he be afraid of this man? Him and his army are like a joke. You know what I'm saying? And then the wig they had him on was atrocious. The little Tyler Perry wig they had on him. I said, like, why? Wesley Snipes is another great actor that we have had, and he could have did so much more, but you give him that corny role, like, what the heck? And in my recollection, and excuse me if I'm wrong, but in the original Coming to America movie, Prince Hakeem wasn't no punk. You know what I'm saying? Like, he ain't gonna be, to me, he would not have been in a mind state to where somebody is threatening to take his throne from him, and he just gonna be like, oh, I guess this person is gonna kill me if I don't find a successor, and I gotta do what this person wants me to. I don't want to make, you know, him angry. Like, no. When Prince Hakeem was in Zamunda, he was a handsome prince, he was wealthy, and he was also very courageous. The only corny aspects were, he wasn't corny, but the only comedic type of things that he would do, you know, like that didn't fit the mold, was when he went to America, and it's because he was used to the different African culture and trying to assimilate to American culture. There was a lot of stuff that he didn't understand. That was the comedy in it. It wasn't that he was a punk, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't that he was just somebody that people could just walk over. Like, no, it didn't tie together. Let me think of some good things about the movie. I was glad to see that the majority of the cast from the original movie was in the sequel. That was good to see. Everybody looked happy. Everybody looked great. It was beautiful costumes and stuff. You know what I'm saying? They all looked great. But I was like, where's the mother at? Prince Hakeem's mother in the movie. Why isn't she here? Like, they didn't really explain it in the movie, but I went and did my research, and apparently the actress who played her, she passed away in the 90s, and I didn't even know she passed away. I was like, oh wow, you know, they could have had like a special little section in the movie dedicated to her memory or something, you know, because she was a very wise character in the original film who gave lots of good advice. So they could have just like had a moment of remembrance from her, you know, about her or something, you know, incorporated that. And they had the corny little funeral in there. The funeral was so corny, and it was just, to me, an opportunity for them to try to recreate how in the original movie they had like the iconic dance sequence and stuff. When the dance and the music in the funeral in the funeral section of the movie, it was so corny. Like, the dances wasn't even hot. They got hotter dances on TikTok, and that's no shade to Fatima, because I know Fatima is a famous choreographer and she has some iconic stuff, but I don't know what the world she was trying to do. And in the guest appearances during the funeral, whatever, the vocal performances, we could have did without, and how they remixed their songs to fit the funeral and stuff. It was very corny. And if I would have read the script, I'm sorry, I would have been like, nah, I'm gonna have to pass on this role. I wouldn't even want it to be associated with it. It was so bad. I'm not even gonna lie, it was bad. It was bad. It was bad. Like, as far as 5 stars, I give it 1. I ain't watched a movie that bad in a long time. I'm sorry. I know. And they even had a scene in the movie where Prince Hakim's son, he's in the rose garden and he's talking to his love interest or whatever, and they're talking about sequels, and you know how people make sequels that people didn't ask for. You know what I'm saying? And how a lot of times they don't match up and all this other stuff. They don't even be on the same level as the original. And I'm like, thank you, because this is an example of why a sequel shouldn't have been done. But I am happy that it was done so that people could see it and be like, because like I said, this is something that people have been asking for years. So you finally got it, and you finally see that the story ain't even as great as the original. You know what I'm saying? And I was happy that Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall, they did transform into different characters like they did in the original movie. So that was nice to see, you know what I'm saying? Because I did like to see the different characters that they played. And it was kind of nostalgic, you know what I'm saying? But just the whole storyline was just, I was just checked out, you know what I'm saying? Because it wasn't a good storyline. And then I was confused the whole time, because I just thought at some point in the movie that Leslie Jones' character was going to confess and be like, hey, you know, you think that this is my son, or that this is your son, but turns out I was sleeping with other people and it's really not your son. I just thought she was going to say that, because she kept giving off the vibes that she was going to spill the beans and confess and be like, you know what, I just wanted you to inherit this kingdom and turn our lives around, all this other stuff. I have to be honest, this is not your real father. Your real father is Jerome around the corner, You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just like, it never happened, and I was just confused. You know what I'm saying? And I just keep talking about people that have been added to the movie. Like I said, Wesley Snipes, he was not in the original, but he's in the sequel. And I feel like they could have did so much more with his character, you know what I'm saying? Because he's an outstanding actor. And then they also had Tracy Morgan. Tracy Morgan is hilarious. I love Tracy Morgan. They had Lunel, and then they had Leslie Jones. And they had Michael Blackson. He was in there. I ain't really a fan of Michael Blackson, but at least Tracy Morgan and Lunel. Now, they are hilarious, and I feel like they could have used them more so. They could have used them more to make the movie even greater, because they're just comedic timing and everything is just hilarious. You know what I'm saying? They could have made the movie funny. And then it had me looking at Eddie Murphy sideways, like, okay, well, did you have Charlie Murphy ghostwriting for you all these years? Because now that Charlie gone, everything you've been putting out has not been funny. I'm just keeping it funky. Like I said, this is my unpopular opinion. Y'all can disagree with me if y'all want to, but I'm just gonna keep it funky, and I'm gonna tell you just what I thought. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even gonna really spoil the movie that much, like how I usually do. I have a tendency to do that from time to time whenever I'm talking about movies, but I'm not gonna do that this time. But yeah, so that's all I got. That's all I got. So if you haven't watched the movie, I would say go watch it, but I'm gonna leave that up to you. If you have watched the movie, drop down in the comment section and let me know what your thoughts are, you know, because like I said, some people said they enjoyed it, so I just want to know exactly what did you like about it, you know what I'm saying? And I hope that you all enjoyed this video. If so, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel if you're not, because I have some more content coming for you guys. You know, I'm trying to get my little groove together, trying to get back, you know, inspired and wanting to do this. So yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.